Hi guys, welcome to the Bad Buckets Wrestling Podcast. I'm Smoothman, your host. Today we've got a bit different for you. We are in Milton Keynes. I'm here with Kev.
Hello.
Or Lelujo if you know him from other facets of his life. We're here in Milton Keynes to see Strong Style Evolved UK. So hopefully I'll get a bit of footage of us in there. Probably try and do a bit of a review with Kev later. Apparently I'm a vlogger now. Happy days. So we're in. Kev's just had a delicious hot dog, although he's not.
I'm more annoyed about my seat.
This is what the seats are like. This is Kev trying to sit with his legs. I know you can't see that because it's dark, but he can't see. So these are the seats that we have. Decent view of the stadium down there. Kevin just sat down there, just chilling. So,
ladies and gentlemen, tonight's show will start in 10 minutes. Welcome to Strong Style Evolved UK! 4-1-4. Introducing first.
So the first half has finished. Kev, what do we think?
The first air half.
Air
half.
All right.
It's been really good, hasn't it? It's lots of people doing lots of very violent things. I would not want to be sat down in the front row because I think just about every barrier surrounding the ring has flown towards someone's head in the front row at some point. The bars in the barrier over here actually broke out and looked like they were going to impale the people who were sat behind them. There has been scraps everywhere. It's awesome.
It's very good. We've seen 4 or 5 matches.
I'm not even counting the first ones. I don't know who they were.
No, I didn't.
4 matches of note. Yeah.
The Switchblade match was very, very quick. It was hectic because there was everything going everywhere. Barriers flying. I think I nearly saw someone get hit in the head with one, but it's just absolutely mental. There's so many things going on, and
it's taking a typical New Japan structure of each match is getting a little bit better than the one before, and we're a little bit more star power than the one before. So I think it's pretty much stars all the way through, and bearing in mind there's probably, when they come back out after this intermission, another 2 hours of show to go and only 3 matches left. I think we're going to get some wrestling as well.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Will Ospreay, still waiting for Okada and Zack Sabre Jr. So I think all the stars are coming out for the last bit, but we'll check in at the end. I've already put in some videos of the first half just before this, so hopefully you've seen some of the entrances and things, and we'll see you after the end. we're back. We're finished. Wow, what a day! It was very good. The last match was incredible.
It was excellent.
It was Suzuki Gun and Zack, who had Zack Sabre Jr and Suzuki himself against Okada and Ishii, is it? I can't remember. See, I don't watch New Japan that often.
No, he had his eyes closed throughout most of the last 3 hours.
No, I did not. But
I was afraid.
I was afraid after all the hard-hitting forearm smashes that they did. I've recorded it, you'll hear it, and it was just so sickening. I thought I was going to vomit. We also saw Will Ospreay win. My beautiful friend Will Ospreay. I love that man.
Yeah, you did get a little bit. He's got his girlfriend there with him. Smoothman was giving her daggers. He really didn't seem to like it at all.
No.
That's V Priestley there. Can't stand that woman. She's got my Will. Get your hands off of Will.
What can I say? He's a beautiful
I had to
man.
drag him away.
He is a beautiful man. Obviously, if this is being watched by B, no, I don't actually hate you.
Say awful things about you.
Ignore him. And it was just a good day. It's still light, as you can see. Trying not to get run over. We're now going to go and get some food, but as always, I'll probably put a bit more of a review when I get home. Hi guys, welcome back. We thought we'd do the review in the car. We've just had lots of food and sticker swapping, so
We didn't eat the stickers.
obviously they don't digest well. We'll just give you a quick rundown of what we saw. So we saw the first match of the night was
Jobbers!
pretty much
Jobbers!
it wasn't that entertaining.
No, it was, look, we are wrestling now. Can you please go and sit down match? That's all it was intended for.
It was. There were still people buying beer. There's still people going around buying
The
merch.
first fella who came out, his Titantron entrance just said Young Lion on it. They haven't even bothered doing one to put his name on. So, yeah. Jobbers! Black trunks and everything. Jobbers.
Yeah, the surprise wasn't what we were expecting. We were all speculating in the car. Who's it going to be? Zack Sabre? Is it going to be Travis Banks? Is it going to be Marty Scurll?
Jobber.
It was a jobber who we'd never heard of. We then had... Was it the tag team match after that? Aussie Open versus...
Bullet Club C team.
Yeah. So it's the Bullet Club, who apparently is part of Pimp Club. There was a lot of suggestive women. It was a bit weird.
Two suggestive women who then stood next to us throughout the whole of the first half of the show, and then the second half of the show they both came out in baggy t-shirts and spectacles and looked completely different, but people were still asking for photos with them. It was quite funny.
It was funny. It was an alright match. Aussie Open, there was a guy who's big like me and then a skinny guy
like me. It was basically us, Australian us.
Wasn't anything to write home about, was it really? It was standard tag team match. Was alright.
Fine.
The Too Sweet came out.
It had the biggest opposing chants of the whole evening with the Bullet Club Aussie Open chant. That was It was building. People were very excited to be there, and I think at that point you could have put any old jobbers on and it would have been fine.
Yeah, definitely.
It was the only Bullet Club representation all evening, and there was so many Bullet Club shirts there. People just loved having the opportunity to chant Bullet Club, even though it was like the reserves. This is what happens if the reserves can't make it.
Yeah.
They put these two on.
Or when Cody leaves and then they're left in the rubbish. You'll get these buffoons. We then had, I think it was Walter after that. Or was it somebody else?
Walter might have been a little bit later. I think Walter was the last match before the intermission, wasn't he? With his just...
If you ever want to see a giant angry man
who I'm now really afraid of,
slap people really hard, then that was.
I mean, we can reenact it now if you want.
I'd rather not. But yeah, that was a good match. We enjoyed that. I don't remember the match before it.
That was memorable then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's say it wasn't very good if you don't remember.
Was it Chris Brookes?
No, he was after the intermission. He was the first match after the intermission. I don't remember who was there. At some point we had... When was...
Oh, it was it was a 6-man. Switchblade and...
the Suzuki Gun against Chaos.
Yeah, it was a bit... That was a very... I was disappointed with that because Jay White didn't do a lot. and I was quite excited to see him. I've heard a lot about him from New Japan, reading it on the Twitters.
Nobody really got much time. It was a 6-man tag match that didn't get enough time to really showcase the 6 men, but we got a lot of brawling and a lot of flying railings and chairs.
Yeah.
And it was a really violent match, but like short and violent.
Yeah,
there would
definitely.
Obviously, Jay White's got a singles match tomorrow night, doesn't he? So
yeah, so
I guess he's saving himself for that. Similar to Okada later on, who's got a singles match tomorrow and wasn't massively involved in his tag match.
No, I think we'll jump straight to that. That was the main event, and that was probably the best match of the night.
And not for the reasons you would think it would be, because I was really excited to see Okada against Zack Sabre Jr. And they were good, but they didn't spend a huge amount of time in the ring. Sabre probably more time than Okada, who spent, I would say, 90% of the match just lying down on the floor.
It's weird because when you watch wrestling on TV, you see a lot of, you just see the ring, you don't see what happens on the outside. And I kind of kept one eye on the outside, and I didn't see, it was just Okada watching it.
Yeah.
He was mostly watching the match, and then he came in when he needed to do his big spot or whatever it was to break up pins, and we didn't get to see a Rainmaker. You were quite disappointed with that.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see that. We didn't see him do a proper version of his drop kick. He did do a drop kick, but it was kind of semi-botched and ended up hitting below waist height, and it was just a little bit. We saw him do a tombstone, which was quite good.
Which is nice.
And we saw Zack Sabre Jr. counter the Rainmaker at least 4 or 5 times into different submission holds each time, and that was fun to watch. But the standout thing of that match was Minoru Suzuki and Ishii just that.
Yeah.
So long.
So there was a bit in the corner where they just stood there and slapped each other, and it was literally just a chop match. And then there was a bit where they were headbutting each other constantly. It was just mad. And then there was a bit where it was just all forearms. But they don't. Anybody who's watched New Japan will know how hard hitting it is. And I've not seen too much of it. And being there live, you hear the crack of a forearm into someone's face, and it is grim. Everybody around us were just pulling faces like, oh, I don't want to listen to this anymore. And it was good. I did film some of it. I couldn't film all of it because it went on for a good 3 minutes. But if you've seen it already, that's what it sounded like.
It was mad.
Yeah. The other 2 matches, we had Chris Brookes against was it Yashi?
I forget who he was against. I mean,
it was a Japanese guy.
It was fine.
It was fine. Chris Brookes, I know of through when we went to IPW. We saw a bit of him in that 7.
He still hasn't got a new jacket. He's still just got
same jacket, same shoulder brace. Came out with a masked figure, which was a bit new, but I was more excited for the match after because it was Will Ospreay versus some other guy again.
Yeah, another guy.
He drank what looked like whiskey and spat it at people.
Yeah.
A lot. He didn't get the Oscar in, which is quite a bit of a shame.
He tried it once, but he got counted. He got sort of kicked out of the sky when he attempted it.
Yeah, he also did his usual shooting star press, but he also did a shooting star press while the guy was draped over the rope, so he was like hanging on the rope. From the top rope he did a shooting star press, which I thought he was going to die.
It was hideous.
It was hideous. But all in all, it was a good night. I think if you ever want to go and see New Japan or RevPro, it was put on by RevPro. It was very good. I can't fault their effort enough of what they've produced. Kevin Kelly was there as well, doing his little shindig on his commentary. Didn't hear it obviously, but I'm tempted to kind of go and demand RevPro now just to see what it was like.
Well, we were sat behind the hard cam, so we're not going to be on it, which would be very sad. But it does mean that the cheeky little shots that we were able to get were basically the same shots that you'll get on the RevPro as well, because we were sort of sat right there.
Definitely.
It's very fun.
Well, we've got another hour drive left back to Peterborough, so...
Well, I'm not going anywhere until you give me this Frappuccino you promised me like 8 hours ago.
What we're going to do.
Well,
looks like I'm staying in Kev's car forever.
Yeah. Well, until Starbucks opens.
So, tomorrow morning. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching this vlog. We'll try and get another one out for the UK NXT
Not
brand.
Without a coffee, we won't.
He's actually asleep. Look at him. Yeah, so we'll be at NXT UK in Cambridge on the 29th of July with coffee, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Definitely with coffee. We'll hopefully vlog that as much as we can. We'll have Jack with us this time.
Oh, are you serious? I ain't going.
I've been Smoothman, your host. That's been Kev.
Hello.
And thank you very much for watching. As I was editing this, I noticed that we didn't talk about one of the matches that happened yesterday. So it was David Starr versus Tiger Mask, and Tiger Mask, obviously, I think it's just this ritual thing, isn't it, where they have somebody who's good enough to wear the historical mask of the tiger. He faced David Starr. David Starr was very, very good. He's a proper heel that you'd expect to see. He came out and asked the announcer to read off this really long introduction, which had things like he's the winner of Twitter, and it was brilliant. The match was all right. It wasn't anything to shout about, but I thought people are going to say, "Oh, you missed out a match," so I thought I'd just put it in. But David Starr was very good. I think he's the current British undisputed cruiserweight champion for RevPro, so he's oozing charisma. Came out, did a bit of a promo, and pretty much just said, "I'm not doing this as a title match," which was already put down on the card as a title match, and refused to do it because apparently Tiger Mask didn't earn it. But over the day, it was great. Me and Kev seemed to have a good time. He was scared of Walter at one point. I think we all were. It's just a good introduction into New Japan Pro Wrestling for me. I've not seen a lot of it. Kev has probably seen a little bit more than I have. I obviously know of the big guns like Cody Rhodes, Omega, etc. But some of the big names were there. Ospreay was there, Okada was there, Suzuki, Switchblade. So I think I'm a bit of a convert. I've been your host of the podcast, Smoothman. Please drop us a like on this video if you enjoyed it and want to see more. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to see NXT UK, one of the first live tapings on the second night in Cambridge. So we will do something like this again. There'll be three of us, three ideas mushed together about what happened. Keep listening to us on the podcast and drop us 5-star ratings on iTunes. Drop us comments on there. Drop us comments on this video. Send us any message on Twitter at BadBookersWP for any questions during the podcast. We'll give you a shout out and give you some of our thoughts on your question. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and see you later.